Good afternoon. My name is Kimberly Simmons. I'm the Executive Director of the Coalition to End Homelessness here in the state. And first, because I do know that we have Councilman Miguel Sanchez, who has to leave, but he is from Providence, Ward 6, and we'd like to share with you a few words. Please join us.
Do you guys want them? No, I could probably speak louder.
Do whatever you like.
Thank you, Kim. First, I just want to thank all of you for being here today to advocate on this very important issue. Today I'm speaking as a city councilor for Ward 6, that was mentioned. And what I'm here to primarily do is endorse and support and uplift the demands that were included in the letter from the coalition. A bunch of outreach providers have signed on to that letter. So I'm going to go over those 6 demands and speak on why I'm supporting them as a city councilor and why I'm encouraging the mayor's office to support them and to advise and ask my colleagues on the city council to also endorse those demands. The first one, the most important one, is there is a pending notice that's going to be given to folks on Friday from the mayor's office, from the Providence Police Department. That's going to essentially give folks only 48 hours to find alternative homes. We know how dire the crisis is, the housing crisis is in the city of Providence right now. I know folks in my neighborhood that have resources and are still struggling to find housing. So giving a 48-hour notice is completely unacceptable. So that leads into the second demand, and that demand is to put pressure on the city of Providence to find an appropriate piece of land where folks can move to set up their homes. So that's the most important one after delaying the notice time. And also on that notice time, we want to ensure that notices are given in English and Spanish. So demand number 3 is to provide folks with transportation to hopefully that identified parcel of land. So not only transportation for themselves, but their belongings. These are people that have all of their stuff with them in their homes at these encampments. So that one is also very important. And the fourth one is to provide trash barrels and bathroom facilities at the new locations. I would even go back and demand that these services are provided to the existing encampments now. Folks want these and have been asking city leaders for quite some time for the basic necessities to get by on a day-to-day being. And the fifth one, which is also very important, is to beg the Providence Police Department and the city administration to adhere by the Homeless Bill of Rights to protect folks' privacy. These folks are like any one of us here, that we are all citizens of this country. We have constitutional rights, so we want to ensure that those rights are protected. And the last one, that it was a very disappointing measure that was taken at the Charles Street encampment last year, is to completely prohibit any big machinery equipment like bulldozers and equipment that is just very anti-humanistic. So those are the 6 demands that I'm here supporting as a city councilor. I'm really begging at this point the mayor's office to respect these demands and work with providers. We cannot tell people to move without having another livable, viable piece of land appropriated. This is only going to create a disaster. Folks' lives are going to be at risk if we move people out. Right now, at least, providers are able to provide services. They know where folks are at. Folks have been taking care of each other for quite some time now, and we want to make sure that we take steps to keep addressing those and work with the administration to find that piece of appropriate land. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Council. I am stunned when I found out that there was, April 30th, there was a 72-hour warning that would be going out to all of the encampments and the people that live in them. All I could think of is that we do not have some level of sensitivity around humans. somebody making these decisions somehow do not understand or appreciate what it's like to be outside, what it's like to have no resources, and what it's like to not be doing a camping, tenting, or vacation like some of us would go on per our choice with options. These folks have no options, and so 72 hours might as well be 2 minutes. They have no options to go to. If we have 500 people unsheltered today, what is it going to be when we add these other people that you all of a sudden are going to find places for them? Of course not. And when I was reading some of the interview from the mayor, I was shocked to find out that he could not answer where they were going to go. He did not even have a viable concern that he could express and say where they were going to go. There was nothing that was going to be sounding an alarm for people or working with all of the providers. We can do this. We need time. Even for people who are evicted from homes, 30 days. And why are not we unable to do it? We demand to have 30 days of notice for these folks, so we all, again, as providers, can provide the resources in the space and identify how we're going to go through with helping them. We need everybody to understand these are people and children that are out here in all kinds of weather, and we should give more than we have from, I'm sorry, but I'm getting all upset, but we should be giving a whole lot more and a whole lot more understanding as well.
How many children are there?
I don't know the exact number of children, and we don't have that data handy with me. Do you know, Jen? Yeah. Anyway, so, I know the counselor has mentioned a few of the other things that is needed as well. But I want to make sure that people understand you got to spread the word that this is not human. This is not at all acceptable. Right now, I'd love to introduce, I'm going to read the statement because Councilman Justin Royas was not able to be here. His statement was the following, quote, "I strongly oppose the decision to shut down 2 of Providence's largest encampments while shelters remain at capacity. This move is not only wrong, immoral, and irresponsible, but it will undoubtedly worsen the instability in my neighborhood. We've already experienced the fallout from the closure of the Charles Street encampment, which led to the proliferation of new encampments in the North End as individuals dispersed. I urge the city administration to reconsider this decision. Give housing providers and encampment residents the time and support they need to transition to appropriate shelter. Rushing this closure will only worsen suffering and chaos for our unhoused neighbors and deeper neighborhood instability. And it also gives just a bad feeling to our public. Next, I would like to invite up to speak is Karen Anders, Director of Brown University Master of Public Health Program. Welcome and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Thanks for listening for a couple of minutes. I'm an associate professor of public health at Brown University. I've been doing outreach in the homeless community for over a year now and have a small project in one of the communities that's going to be disbanded next week. And I just want to highlight that this is a violent process. This is state violence towards folks living in our jurisdiction. Removing people by police and bulldozer is not the way we want to treat people in Rhode Island. I'm a newcomer to Rhode Island. I've been here for a year and a half. I'm very compassionate with in this particular population. I want to highlight too that folks who are relocated, actually not relocated because we don't know where they're going to go. They lose a lot of the progress they've been able to make over recent months. We have a robust system of outreach here in Rhode Island. Lots of outreach workers who spend time in the encampments. They know folks. They know what they need. They bring ID. They bring bus passes. Everything that folks need to survive on a daily basis. They bring water, they bring food. So it is not unsustainable at this moment, and it's an opportunity for Providence to decide to take the high road and do something different. It's, the homeless problem in Rhode Island is not so expansive that it can't be managed, and it can't be managed well. I think we need to step forward with possible solutions that do not put people on the street in worse situations than they already are in, doesn't reverse the progress that they've already made towards sustainable housing, and allow our outreach workers who are giving a ton of care to folks an opportunity to get them housed before this happens. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for sharing. Next, I would like to introduce Braulio Ortiz, Client Service Manager for Project Weber Renew. Did I say your name right? Okay. Thank you for being here.
Hi everybody, I work for Project Weber Renew. I've done outreach work. I've also do case management in Pawtucket at our office there. One of the things I want to say, this problem is much more than what we see, okay? What we see is the encampments, but we don't see the people that are living in their cars, young and old. The biggest problem we have is housing people. I can work with people, but to get them housed is a problem, okay? And that's where we need to work, is getting housing. I have a 71-year-old lady that's living in a tent. What are you going to tell her, that she's got to move? She's been a taxpayer all her life. But because there's not enough resources for this woman, guess where she's staying? In a tent with no resources. This is sad. And I hate to say this statement, we have people that come from another country, right? And they get housed right away. And our American people are not getting housed. What is wrong with the system? It's got to change. My opinion, it's broken, okay? We got to change some things. And the best people to ask for the change are the people who are unhoused. They're the ones that experience all of this. Empower these people to get together and say, hey, listen, what can we do to fix the problem that we have? Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Next, we have Terry Wright representing RIHAP, Rhode Island Homeless Advocacy Project. Welcome, Terry.
Hello. Listening to all these stories, something great needs to happen in this moment. For all those listening, like having a Rhode Island that cares for its own residents, and not jails and hospitals, but relief in this current state of emergency that our homeless and unsheltered residents have been experiencing. This crisis is only getting worse without properly addressing the nature of this crisis and doing something about it. Something good needs to happen in this moment, and not the continuance of Providence police raids of encampments, not without healthy solutions, not without adequate shelter, not without public safety for the homeless and unsheltered. Where do people go? The next street over? Until the mayor or the governor gets a call? It's just time to break this cycle of hurt, of harm that's happening to our homeless and unsheltered people. How do they live without a tent, without shelter, without a roof over their heads? Those are basic living necessities. Without access to essential items needed when homeless and forced to live outdoors. Police raids of encampments will interrupt the lives of 70 residents plus forced to live outdoors. In the upcoming week, something great needs to happen, like the passage of the revision of the Homeless Bill of Rights, where we would not be having this issue of encampment raids during a housing crisis. Like the reallocation of $30 million Some of those funds need to be allocated and used to preserve shelter beds and create new ones, instead of sitting in a bank waiting for a signature, and instead of being fed the political promise that low-income sustainable housing will be built. So people are forced into an even bigger displacement that, unfortunately, the budget, the $30 million, all the money, and all of these political excuses are only actually exasperating the quality of life. Governor Dan McKee can call an emergency meeting and get those millions in funds reallocated right now to support emergency housing, shelters, and even to keep the shelters open. I'm saying right now, get in the business of saving lives. Our unhoused residents are living in a state of emergency. And with no tenant protections, this homeless crisis is only going to grow larger. So to business owners, doctors, teachers, these are your patients, your students, your customers. You should be standing strong with us, because not addressing this crisis is affecting business. Reallocate and save lives. Thank you.
Awesome, so true. You know, I think the counselor said this is a violent action. And you can only imagine if someone came to your house, broke in, and decided to wake you up and move you immediately and take all your precious things that you want, all your papers, legal papers, and you have no idea where they're gonna go. You have no idea where you're gonna go. So just imagine someone doing that to you. So it is really that much of a big deal. If we have to move people, let us work together to make that happen effectively. Less trauma to the people that are in the encampments, less trauma to the children. This lasts for a long time. Let's be more sensitive, more heartfelt, and appreciate that this can be worked out, done correctly. I thank everybody who's come out here this evening, I'm asleep, but today rather, to really, share your words, share your support, and really help us to make this communication to the city one that hopefully will last. Thank you again.